Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters. Tomorrow is release of the high score event, Rock and Ice, and well, new overview of course, right? I am super tired, very tired, so if I'm not really too coherent, well, you know why, but I'm gonna do our best here. So, this banner. Banner honestly hold decent value, especially if, God forbid, you want to super awaken some of these characters, because, I mean, you know, they all gained good buffs. They're all strong. Grusha, I believe, had a very good buff relative to what he could do prior. I mean, Blue got a good buff. Paulo looked pretty good for his buff, too. I mean, it's just, you know, super awakening does that to characters, right? But even individually outside of that, these characters are still decent. Paulo and Grusha are good, quite good even. Blue, not really so much. He's definitely aged for sure, but you definitely can still get like usage out of him. And well, again, this is releasing for the Rock and Ice high score event. As for how these characters perform, Grusha specifically is going to be really solid to have because your boost is Gym Leader. Tech, I mean, you know, that's not really, you know, counting for much, at least on Grusha's case, or even any of these characters, because this is a sprint strike support, right? But whatever, he's a Gym Leader, right? And neither of these other two characters are, but you know, they're still going to be good individually for their own rights. But you know, if you want the most points, using those techs slash Gym Leader slash main characters here are going to be your, you know, best way to achieve points. As for like how each character is going to perform, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I could see Paulo being good against Melanie because he's able to set sand. But let's be fair, again, it's Rock and Ice. A lot of these characters can set sand and hail. But also, again, at the same time, you know, there are a lot of characters that can do that, but not all of them are, like, really good. Paulo is one of the characters that is really good and can actually, you know, again, do it. Alongside, like, off the top of my head, Champion Silver is another one. Yeah, why am I even trying to guess off the top of my head when this is here? I'm pretty sure Raihan and Entry has something. Where is it at? Isn't in the skills. Yeah, Sand Summoner. He's got Sand Summoner on Entry, you know, being able to set sand that way. I mean, either way, right? Like, you know, there's some pretty solid characters, Paulo himself included, being able to, you know, set sand, counter that stage. Grusha being a support character alone is already going to be really good. I mean, if we want to look at support options for this type, it's pretty fucking rough. Grusha is definitely one of the better ends. I mean, obviously, you know, you've also got old Elio. Dana's quite good, I want to say. I don't know about Bruno. He maybe, but probably not. His recovery is a little iffy, I think. Lorelei, honestly, Lorelei I could see being decent just because she's got decent healing. But like the point is, you know, I mean, these supports are pretty lacking. At least quite a few of them are. So having a character like Grusha is going to be one of the best supports for this. Probably either behind Elio or even ahead of him. I could see that too. And then Blue is kind of, in my opinion, the odd one out because he can kind of, he doesn't really provide much of a point bonus, and he's just a big damage dealer, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's fine, but also at the same time, if you just want a good, strong damage dealer, Ice and Rock don't really lack too much in that department. Like, I mean, you've obviously got on the higher end of it, Champion Silver, Cena, Champion Red, Eriott, even Silver with his, you know, good nuke, Palatine's Candace. I mean, she's got the Gym Leader theme. She's going to be able to provide quite a bit there, right, as well, not just being able to be a solid damage dealer. You know, right, I mean, these characters all, you know, good individually. I mean, Blue is definitely going to be the one that's like, okay, I'm going to pull him, he's going to be decent, but like, you really want Grusha or Paulo out of this banner. Those are probably your best things. And even, again, outside of, like, the high score event, because, you know, you're going to be able to use these characters literally everywhere else, this is, like, the one time we're going to get a high score event for these types, especially combined, at least for probably a few years, until this event's either discontinued or cycles back to recycling types again. But, you know, these Grusha and Paulo definitely maintain the most value outside of the stage as well. Again, Blue is just a single damage dealer. Paulo's got great utility and pretty solid damage, and Grusha's got good supportive capabilities. So, without stalling too much more, I guess we'll go ahead and look at the actual characters. Just because he's the one I noticed first, let's look at Paulo. So Paulo is a sprint support character, the first one, and was the only one until Holiday Lily, literally over a year after his release, which is funny. You know, we've had support sprints, but not any sprint supports since, again, Paulo's release, which is funny, honestly. His main stuff is obviously Sync Countdown with that sprint stuff, but also, again, pretty good utility in the form of not only sync countdown, but also being able to set sand, mostly just maybe the max move, right? But also being able to extend it, protect the team from damage in sandstorms. He's also able to buff his physical moves next for a little bit of damage, and I mean, his offensive stats good. Let's just remove the Super Awakening. 486 attack is good, for sure. You can definitely make good usage of that for damage purposes. Stone Edge and Cell Rock are damage, but of course, Cell Rock is mostly for that physical moves next or the sync countdown. Mostly the sync countdown, let's be honest. He's also got the buddy move here, Willful Howl, which is activated whenever he uses the sync move, and it uses a max of 3 slots on the gauge, and the more used it raises all allies' stats besides special attack by up to +4, and increases all allies' physical moves next by 2. So good supportive ability as well. This was very, very good, prior to a lot of the release of characters that can like help out rock types a little bit more. Like Paulo was just really, really good for rock types in general, especially before Champion Silver released, and even after Champion Silver released, he was still a great option to help extend Silver's sand duration and, again, provide that team sand protection. Does Silver provide team sand protection? Extends duration, sandstorm, protects a lot from sand damage. So yes, he does. Okay, so, I mean, double sand protection. Cool. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But this provided good supportive abilities to the team, buffing defenses, also helping out with gauge, because rock types are not the fastest things ever. It's helpful there too, right? And good self-sufficiency, being able to buff his attack by 4 and crit by 2, sync countdown by 1. The crit's a little bit annoying. Does really want you to run a support with that. Obviously max out his crit, but you can deal with that pretty well. And the end of having a sandstorm, this could be problematic, obviously, depending on your team comp. But if you're going to be running Paulo, you're very likely going to be running him with another sand setter. And again, just biggest example being Champion Silver. But of course, there are other examples like Ingo's as a support, Arcsuit Cynthia, potentially. I could see quite a bit of cohesion there between them. Sand abusers and Paulo's not just being a damage-focused unit, but also, again, utility. That is reinforced more in his grid, that good utility, but again, still good damage with Sandblaster, right? Sandblaster, Bronze Sync 5. I think those are only multipliers for his Sync Nuke. I mean, yeah, that's still good multipliers, right? He's going to be hitting good and hard on that Sync Nuke. And other than that, he does have things like Max Move, Team Free Moves next for some gauge. A Celerock Bogo, again, as well for some more gauge. Training Move, Pep Rally. Very gauge efficient, we can tell, though he mostly does not need these tiles simply because of that speed buff he's already able to provide with the buddy move. But also using the buddy move does entail obviously having to sync with him, so you might have to time that. But that's also why you have the support EX role, so you've actually got that first sync move potentially to be used with Paulo for its support sprint functionality. He's also got first sync move restoring the the quick move, which allows you to get that sync countdown and the physical moves next again if you do need it. Has start 1 for more sync countdown, Surging Sand 2 and 5 here for some damage on Stone Edge and Celerock, again kind of reinforcing his solid damage abilities. Defense Destroyer on a Celerock for more defense debuffs, well I guess actual defense debuffs, not more because didn't have them to begin with, but enhancing all of those physical rock types you can run with him, because obviously most rock types are physical. Other than, the occasional special one, like, obviously, Alt Celine, right, who is really, really crazy, right? And I mean, that is, again, solid abilities for Paulo just at 1 out of 5, right? I mean, not just 1 out of 5, but without Super Awakening. I mean, he's still good, still solid, good utility, solid damage. I mean, he can slot pretty well onto a team and provide a lot of different capabilities depending on, like, what your team's needing. Like, if you need extra sand, well, again, Paulo can set sand on that max rockfall here, and obviously, you do want to potentially run him with another sand setter as well, right? Especially because he's got a ton of sand multipliers, so Going off on a bit of a tangent, I do want to look at his Super Awakening stuff. Obviously, again, stats. Like, the bulk's nice, the stats, attack stats nice, HP, speed, all of that's good. He does also have the Conquering Evil here, Sandstorm Team Power Up, Max Rockfall Rock Zone, and Quick Move Physical Boost. Quick Move Physical Boost, nice for extra offensive enhancement, just, making his damage a little bit better. Team moves up on Sandstorm's nice for him, of course, again, more damage, but also really, really solid for him to be able to power up his allies in Sand, right? I mean, you're going to be running that with literally any character. It's going to be a good buff. Sigma Suit Diantha, Champion Silver. I mean, run Lodge Raihan as your sand setter, and you can run a different character like Emmett or Sigma Suit Hilda, whoever it may be, not Sigma Suit, Costume Hilda, whatever. And well, I mean, you've got yourself that extra 20% power on all moves. And again, the team's protected from sand damage because of Paulo's passive here. And then the Max Rockfall Rock Zone could be good for helping maintain Rock Zone on the team, or giving you one little instance of Rock Zone, which could be used to push out some really high-powered attacks really, really quickly. Again, kind of reinforcing his sprint capabilities to, hit fast, hard, and, get that sync countdown faster for, like, more sync moves and whatnot. Overall, Paulo, a good character, right? And again, he's providing good utility traits, not just damage, which is amazing for helping out his versatility in a lot of different game modes, like the Legendary Arenas, this high score event. Not really damage challenge because sand sucks, and stuff like that, right? So that is nice for sure. Going on to Grusha, again, a support character. That good old Techie X roll, we gotta love it for these support characters, is nice. No comment for the most part, don't really care to go into it. Yeah, so this guy, for one, Super Awakening did this guy justice. 341 attack, over 1,100 HP. This guy's looking like Giovanni, right? So you can see it all Giovanni. 424 defenses is very nice on top of that, and 382 speed. This guy's bulky. God damn, he's bulky. And he's got good stats to boot just in general. The speed's nice, the attack's quite nice for a support, even if his damage is only Ice Fang and Avalanche. Still, pretty good. But obviously without Super Awakening, still 800 HP is good. These defenses are good. I mean, oops. You're not really going to be complaining too much about that. He's got Dire Hit All Plus for buffing ally crit, Ice Fang for flinch and freeze chances, which are actually boosted by his Super Interference passive here, giving you extra chances for flinch and freeze. Very, very nice stuff, obviously, even with resilient stages like these high score event stages, which you can deal with that just fine. I mean, turn denial is always going to be really good. Again, just cementing more fact in the fact that Grusha is going to be a good support, right? He's got the buddy move, which is Absolute Zero Ice Avalanche, which takes up a defensive posture and it nullifies any action that the enemy takes against him or the team, which is nice. And then he's able to obviously retaliate against the enemy with double power, whatever, but also lowering enemy attack and special attack by 3 of the enemy, that he's targeting or whoever attacked him, whatever it is. I don't actually remember. But point being is that obviously this is a good ability. I mean, the sync countdown being kind of messed up by having to take up a defensive posture can be annoying, but honestly, it's just ended up being good for him a lot more than not. Like, it just he's one of the best characters for the Nolan Ultimate Battle if you're really struggling with that. This stuff is obviously, nullifying team damage. That's pretty much what Signature All Giovanni does, except it literally just nullifies all damage, right? Again, that's why he's so good for Nolan. That's basically damage guard plus wide guard just put into one move. That's really, really solid. So this is nice, definitely a nice passive. And again, it does not have to activate on just AoE attacks. It can activate on single target attacks as well. So you nullify damage on all fronts. That's pretty good. And again, you're debuffing the offenses of whoever attacked you. Also, let's cool down, turning field of play in the ice zone and raising ally defenses by 2. That's just helping out the team's bulk. That's empowering your ice types. Obviously, you could empower your enemies too, but considering this is a mixed stage, you can also just end up bringing him against one of the stages that are not boosted by ice moves, right? I mean, fair enough. Just got to kind of worry about potential rock weaknesses or whatever it may be, depending on who you're fighting and whatnot. But still, not too bad to play around. This guy, obviously, the enhancement is nice. Other than that, Impervious, stat debuff immunity, nice. Hello Morgan, obviously is the best example, but again, there are other ones too. A lot of stages like the debuff. I want fucking Moltres or Tornadoes doesn't debuff. Who doesn't? No, it doesn't. What's his face? Azalf, right? Like the Legendary Arenas, that's pretty nice to have debuff immunity too as well. And then Fear the Snowy Mountain, reducing physical damage taken in Ice Zone, and also charging Engage quickly in Ice Zone, helping engage, helping with damage reduction abilities. Very nice. Big issue is probably his healing, but at the same time, Grid helps that out. He's got at 3 out of 5 the team HP recovery when using a move in Ice Zone. The first sync move recovery HP for him, giving him 40% HP back. That is nice. I do not think he's got, he does not have First Aid. I do not know what his special lucky skill is. It's Gauge Refresh 2. No, is that really what that is? I think that's just a general ability because there's no way they gave him Move Gauge Refresh 2. Okay, I think they just... We did get special lucky skills. Yeah, we did. No, didn't? No, we got that for the anniversary. Never mind. Half anniversary. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway... No special lucky skill for him, but either way, he's got good healing, team HP recovery here. The first sync move he used gives him 40% HP back. That's also, again, good, right? Turner Sync Redemption, that's very nice. More uses of the Ice Zone, more uses of the Buddy move, that damage nullification. That's nice. These are very good effects. Team Mighty Sync, again, for that physical moves next. Defense Crush, this is enhancing the physical prowess. Another notch of Super Interference 2, giving you that extra chances for freeze or flinching. Turn Denial, obviously really, really good. It's even better considering considering that some stages might have like flinch immunity, but not like freeze immunity, and vice versa. So he can actually play on both fronts and have, you know, 2 ways of turn denying an enemy, and that could be really solid, right? They could deny some enemy gimmicks. Then trainer move Propulsion 9, team status immunity under Ice Zone, better defensive buffs when using his trainer move. So of course, if you want to max out defenses faster, that's a good one. Hit and heal, giving him gradual healing on his buddy move, or not buddy move, his trainer move as well. Combine that with the team HP recovery and the recuperation here in the grid up at the top, and well, he's actually got very solid healing. Obviously, one of his bigger issues might be the fact that obviously his HP recovery for the team is quite slow, but honestly, I mean, tick healing is very nice. It's similar to that of like Rika in a sense, and well, I still think Rika's really good. That's just kind of my opinion, though, I guess. Maybe. I think are people underestimating Rika? I mean, she won 3rd place in the awards or whatever for PokeFairs. Doesn't matter. It's fine. Point being, I mean, all of his stuff is really, really solid. He's got good interference, solid healing, good offensive debuffing, good defensive buffing. Definitely very, very nice for sure. And with Super Awakening, he gains the team special damage reduction and Ice Zone on his first Sync move, and Ice Zone Extension 3, making him a very consistent Ice Zone setter, definitely doing a better job of it than Eriott can. Not to throw shade onto Eriott, obviously, but I mean, just in terms of having consistent Ice Zone, Grusha is simply better for the job. And of course, that damage reduction for special moves is very nice as well for preventing the team from taking extra damage, meaning you have to heal up less, so the fact that he doesn't heal up a crap load for the team, I mean, that helps it out for sure. That helps like mitigate that issue. And the Ice Zone on the Sync move and Ice Zone Extension 3 just makes it so it lasts so much longer, and you know, 4 instances of Ice Zone that he can potentially use is pretty nuts. And again, it's being extended too. He would have really liked that Field DX roll, but at this point, you know, he's basically got the Field DX roll, which is quite good, obviously, quite good. So again, Grusha, very, very solid support for just, you know, in general, like ice cases, good defensively, naturally, and again, for this high score event where you want to use them. Classic Blue, the most simple of all of them, but also he's the oldest at the same time by literally 2 years. Kind of crazy, I guess. But looking at his stats here, I mean, without Super Awakening, he's got decent offenses, 430 for special attack, and attack is quite good. HP is quite good. His defenses are pretty solid, but also this is with a Tech EX roll, so I'm just, you're kind of throwing that out there. 460 speed is quite good as well, so his stats are overall pretty solid. And with Mega Evolution, both of his offenses go up to very respectable numbers. 496 attack, 520 special attack. These are good offenses, and well, he's able to make use of Hyper Beam. He's basically pulling a Lance. He's got Hyper Beam. He stole Lance's Aerodactyl that he uses in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Gold Silver Crystal. I forgot which game for a second, but I got it. Don't worry. Well, nice, right? Very, very solid, high-powered attack, obviously. Ancient Power, it's certainly a move to have. I could see solid effects for this to be able to buff defenses or something like that. Like, I could see good Gauntlet utility in this, unironically, just, you know, because you kind of might want to fish for those defensive buffs, but other than that, not really. I mostly just bring a support to do that job. You'll probably never use this in any like serious team building, you know, actions or whatever. Dire Hit Plus for buffing crit for the whole team. This is a nice ability, despite being a striker character, you know, strike tech here. He's actually able to do support crit buffing. I really want to believe that this was actually an error in developing, but they just kind of went with it. Even if he was like worded or whatever to do it, I'd still want to say that they kind of messed up, but we're like, hey, let's do it anyway. It's funny. That's just a personal theory, though. Bonjour, raising attack and special attack by 3, lowering defenses by 1, and if Mega Evolved, raising speed. Solid self-sufficiency. Defense debuffing is not cool. Probably why it's Ancient Power. That's the only theory I've got. He's got Rock Shift for that Hyper Beam, of course, combo freebie for free moves next for gauge management, and endurance, giving him the ability to endure, obviously, when bringing into battle at full HP. Pretty solid, of course, you know, if you take a stray AoE move or just any attack, right, and, you know, you get brought down to endurance instead of instantly dying, that could potentially save you. You know, there's definitely cases, right? And Mega Evolving, he gets Recoil Removal 9 instead, because obviously he's already got the endurance. He wouldn't need it again upon Mega Evolution 99 times out of 100, right? And then he also gains Double Edge, which is good if you are, like, hitting against mixed defensive enemies. Like, immediately coming to mind is, like, Thornton. which, you know, you could fight Thornton with whatever team you want. You can definitely make Blue win against Thornton, and, well, he could work pretty well because, again, he's got that mixed offensive pressure here with a physical move and a special move in order to do mixed damage. Also good against, like, Azelf. Very nice gimmick check there. A decent few stages can appreciate a character that can be mixed in its offensive abilities, whether it be physical or special. Tornadus is another one that comes to mind. Definitely likes that, though really does not like that final bar, total damage nullification plus crit immunity. But anyway, not really a big deal. Yeah, decent solid damage potential. Not really crazy, though. I mean, he's really being carried by his offensive stats and Hyper Beam being a naturally strong move. Doesn't really have anything outside of that, but in the grid it gets better. Surging Sand and Critical Strike, that does help, but not really as much as you would really want to think. I don't think he's got a special lucky skill yet. No, he doesn't. So really, in terms of DPS, you're just pretty much relying on these nodes, and, well, it's outdated. That's simply all you can say it really is. It's just outdated damage for him because, let's just say Lance, for example, has similarly high offensive stats, and he's got a 30% multiplier already on his Hyper Beam, and, well, even that people would probably say is relatively outdated, right? It's not... I want to say outdated, but honestly, still, it's pretty hard. But point being, you know, it's not crazy anymore. But again, that's mostly relative to his age. Older character, makes sense. He's got other stuff as well, like Haymaker and 6 sync tiles that you're not realistically going to be obtaining, because look at this, we're already at negative 25 energy here. I was Jesus, right? But I mean, that is pretty good. That's pretty solid stuff, especially with the Tachyon Scroll being gained. He can hit pretty hard on his Sync move. Not like the craziest nuke, especially not for rock types, not even striker rock types, but still pretty solid. You can definitely make it work. He's able to debuff enemy defenses when attacking them at 4 out of 5? No, 5 out of 5. Being unable to miss at 5 out of 5 here. Impervious for stat debuff immunity and power combo on his trainer move, giving physical and special moves next. A little bit of damage enhancement here. Mostly the defensive debuffs are going to be the best part of that for him, I would say. Power combo, probably not too helpful, especially because you're probably using it earlier in the battle. Impervious for stat debuff immunity is nice tech. Same with Piercing Gaze. Those enemies that like to dodge and shit, that's pretty nice. I can see some good usage against of that. Both of these traits, frankly, against like Dana's ultimate battle. Honestly, if you do want to bring him to that, but also he'd be hard carried by whoever can set the weather effect and the zone effect, right? With Super Awakening, of course, his stats go up immensely. Over 560 special attack is nuts. 530 attack is also really, really good. Good HP. I mean, all the stats are good, right? And with the passives, he's got Head Start 2, First Sync Rock Zone, and Rock Zone Extension. Mostly just more utility on his front. It's like, hey, I want to be run probably with a Rock Zone setter, but also I can help out my Rock Zone setter. I think he really probably wanted some multipliers, but that also wouldn't have made him the best in his damaging role anyway. He probably still would have been worse than, definitely Alt Celine, but probably still worse than like Champion Silver, I guess, in the damage department. But it doesn't really matter too much. Honestly, it's fine, because this is still getting good tech you could potentially bring in, well, especially to like potentially a high score event. That one instance of Rock Zone could be, you know, make or break. And that Head Start 2 for that sync countdown is nice as well, especially combined with other sync accelerating characters, like, for example, Paulo, right? Again, exact same banner as well. You could combine that sync acceleration tech if you want to. But also, you know, it's all Super Awakening. So, I mean, these characters are all good, for sure. You can definitely make good usage of them, definitely, especially Paulo and Grusha. But I would mostly just probably stray away from this banner. I mean, we've got 4 Master Fair Scouts out, right? Those are all super valuable. And we're going to have the Anniversary run coming up soon. Those are just far, far better to go for. Even with the Rock High Score event here, mostly probably just try to get your 200,000 points and get out. And if, you know, you're trying to rank or whatever, well, you're probably going to want these characters at quite high investment to be able to do that to the best ability anyway. So be prepared to sink a lot of gems, if not money, if you really, really are interested in that goal. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I'll see you later. Hope you all enjoy. That's my thoughts on this banner. And yeah, peace.